Hey guys, how you doing? Lee Taft here. Hey, let's do a little deceleration today for the Speed Tips in My Garage in the Classroom, episode number 37. So deceleration is one of the first things that you really should be introducing. Okay, I know I haven't talked a ton about it. I have a little bit, but if you're not giving your athletes, a set of breaks, that's when there's the chance of injury. Now, I do realize the athletes intuitively know how to stop. They know how to decelerate, but they might not be doing it correctly. And if you can ingrain a proper motor program in their brains, then that's going to help them become better performers, but certainly safer. So I'm only going to teach 2 skills today. And then for episode number 38, which is tomorrow, we're going to go 2 more skills of deceleration. So today we're going to talk about the jump stop or split step, the same thing, but there's 2. If you're a tennis player, you say split step. Basketball, you usually say a jump stop. Other sports might say breakdown, okay? So we're going to talk about that one, and then we're going to talk about the rotational stop or the angled stop, where it's more like a kind of like a shuttle drill where you get to a line, you turn, and you run back. We're going to talk about that one. We'll hit some of the finer points, okay? So the first one is the split step. Now, keep in mind, anytime you're doing an exercise where you're going to decelerate from moving forward, okay, you're going to break down by the initial entry into the ground being with the heel, okay? And there's a reason for that. You need to get the shin in a positive angle, okay? So this is a positive shin angle. That is a negative shin angle, this one, right? Positive, negative. So that's something you can explain to your athletes. They don't have to understand positive, negative. They just have to understand, if I want to stop going that way, I need to put pressure into the ground that way, okay? If I want to accelerate going that way, I need to put pressure into the ground going that way. That's what gets me to move, okay? But if I want to stop it, if you enter into the ground with your heel first, you've got this really nice solid object hitting the ground, the calcaneus, the heel, and then the shin and everything just falls in line, and it allows you to put the brakes on and start to stop mass and momentum. Then you roll over the foot and you eventually end up back on the ball of the foot in an athletic ready position to go, probably active, bouncing, or something like that. Because rarely do you just stop dead unless you're a gymnast vaulting and you have to land and be static to get points, right? But normally when we stop in field and court sports, we're stopping to be able to do something else. So that's another episode, okay? But so the first one is the jump stop or the split step. I'm just going to go through it real quick, and then we'll go through the rotational stop as well. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to go this way, and you're going to notice when I hit, let me get you a little bit lower here. There. So when I hit the ground, as I go into my jump stop, my heels hit first. So I will come in, my heels will hit, then I roll forward into my athletic stance. Now keep in mind, if the athlete is going slow and only taking a small step forward, you're not really decelerating, you're just preparing. So for example, if I'm a tennis player and I just kind of step forward like this, I'll be on the balls of my feet. But if I'm moving fast and I have to stop from moving fast, I will hit my heels naturally to be able to turn on the quads to help the knees from over flexing. My glutes and my hamstrings turn on really well to help stabilize my knees and to help my trunk from not collapsing forward. So that's why the backside is going to turn on, okay? So when we do the jump stop or the split step, the way I break this down for this, and we go one step at a time. So we'll go like this. I'll just tell them I want one step, hit, stop. And then take one more step, hit, and stop. And then we go 2 steps. They'll go 1, 2, and then we'll back them up. 1, 2, and they start building up speed. Now, I don't have to back them up. I backed up because I'll be out of the camera. You can work them across the basketball court, the volleyball court, the soccer field, football field, whatever, the track. And so you can keep them moving. And then what we do is we start adding 5-yard increments. Go fast for 5 yards, and then go fast for another 5, so 10 yards, and see if they can decelerate. The only problem is don't have them go too fast and then try to stop on a dime, because if they're not ready for that, if they're young, inexperienced, not strong athletes, they might get hurt, okay? So that's your split step, your jump stop. You're coming in, heels hit, and you break down and you're ready to move. The next one is the angled stop. Very simple to teach, very simple to understand. It looks like this. Coming at you, and I turn like I'm going to take off and run in the opposite direction. Here's the key coaching points. When I make my rotational turn, my hip bone and my ankle bone, okay, my ankle bone and my hip bone have to face the same direction so that I don't create torque on the knee. So as I come in, I turn them both. And now I've got a nice loading position. My knees are back, my hips are back, my ankles are loaded just like I would be if I were doing a shuffle stop, which we'll go into at another time, or any other pattern like that. Okay, you want to make sure the shin is pushed forward to load the ankle, the hips are back to load the hips, right? And the shoulders are forward to help stabilize the hip position, okay? So when you do your rotational stop, same thing. I just tell them to take one step, pivot, and hit. And then we do the other leg, pivot, and hit. And then we add a couple steps, pivot, hit. And then we just keep adding more volume to it as you go along. So there you go. Your split step or jump stop, use the language that makes sense. If you're working with a bunch of tennis players and you say jump stop, doesn't resonate with them. You gotta say split step, okay? So use the language that you are, of the athletes that you're working with, okay? And then the rotational stop, that's a critical one because that's how we change directions in a running pattern. So we run forward, turn, run back the other way. Really, really important pattern to get. All right, guys, hey, episode 37, deceleration, split step, jump stop, or rotational stop, all right? Hey, please share this, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow on episode number 38 for another couple deceleration patterns. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.